Hiya, and welcome back to Undefeated, the game that teaches us that...
At theta_dog, I'm in your walls.
Oh no. I have nothing. I cannot think of anything because we've only done one stream for this game. You would think that I'd have something, but it's been 2 weeks. It's been 2 weeks. And the updates still aren't done yet. The updates still aren't done. Fuck. Anyways, let's just hop right in. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Okay. I'm good. I'm good. It all happens so fast. I'm looking at Redline as he talks, and I bump into someone, maybe hard enough to accidentally crush my smoothie cup. The lid pops off, spilling that mango banana mixture onto the shirt of the brick wall of a man I bumped into. That caught me off guard! He shoves me back faster than I can process, and as I scramble to stay on my feet, I slip in the bit of smoothie that dropped to the floor. My backside crashes to the floor, with Redline trying and failing to keep me held upright by my right arm. Ouch. Fuck! After shaking myself out of my stupor, I look up to see my aggressors. 4 men stand in front of us, one of them with a wet orange stain on his shirt. And next to him, the one in the middle, Bruce. Our eyes meet, if only for a second, almost as some sort of confirmation to our identities. Hey, what the fuck? Got a problem, shithead? The canine with the stain barks back at Redline. Bruce's chest chuffs out a short sigh. And I swear I see his eyes roll for a split second before they close. And with that, his arms reach out. Bruce bends over, claws digging into my shirt as I'm yanked up into the air. Get a closer look into Bruce's eyes at this height. He looks pissed, and to be frank, he normally looks pissed. This was a different type of pissed. When I used to watch his fights, and even in our bout earlier, he had this air about him. A big, mean motherfucker. Someone who took enjoyment out of breaking bones and ending careers. Like a demolition expert, excitedly lining up dynamite to blow a building to hell. But here, inches from his face, with Redline barking out to his aggressor, with the whole cafeteria feeling like it's frozen in time, he feels like a different person. He's not enjoying this. He wants me dead. I can feel it. I'm amazed they let a bitch like you out of medbay. Hiya. A grin spreads across his face. His eyes don't change. And now you're trying to start shit again. Didn't I already kick your ass? You hit him too hard, Bruce. I think he must have forgot. His buddy to the other side yells out, forcing a laugh from Bruce and the man behind him. I still don't know who the fuck you think you are, kid. I'm dropped to the floor. Well, more forced down to it. Bruce had been holding me up a good foot in the air. Luckily, I managed to land on my feet and avoid slipping in the mango smoothie slowly melting on the tile. Bruce's forceful shove sort of broke the physical stalemate we had been in. Everyone around us had to stop and see what had just made that sound. But you'll stay the fuck out of my way if you know it's good for you! Bruce's massive hands press against me on that word. I let out a grunt forced backward, but Redline's tight grip on my wrist helped steady me. He'd been holding on to it this whole time. I hadn't even noticed. You got that? The snarl echoes out through the dining hall. Everyone on our side of the cafeteria is staring silently, watching like statues ready to witness a crime. Even the staff of the food stations are frozen. A fork drops somewhere, followed by the presumed owner whispering shit. The beast stands back up to his full height, towering over most people in the vicinity. It's a pretty uncomfortable scene. Bruce's eyes shift to the opposite side, looking for something I can't see. Silently, he moves. He's definitely faster than I think anyone would give him credit for, especially at the size he is. His body moves straight forward, walking past me, and forcibly checking me with his shoulder as he does. The rest of his posse follows, the canine making sure to step carefully over the slush on the floor. Do you think this will wash out? He speaks in a hushed tone to the man next to him, their voices fading into the distance as they exit. I can't focus on them right now. I'm not able to put coherent thought to what just happened. I had my smoothie, and I was talking to Redline, and I fell, and his eyes. That was different from before. He was angry. He was really fucking angry. Stay out of his way. How the hell am I supposed to do that? We're all fucking trapped here. I'll probably run into him later on my way down, on my way around the facility. Am I just supposed to stay in my room? And why is it so fucking loud in here? Xander? A fresh breath of stale air flows through my nostrils as Redline's voice catches my attention. He's really close to my ears. I blink a few times, a bit of wet from the edge of my eye spreads to my upper eyelid. My hand quickly rises to wipe them dry. Dude, I'm fine. The crack of my voice proves me wrong. I clear my throat and try again. It's fine, sorry. What the hell was that? First, he ruins your smoothie, and now he thinks he just gets to shove you around? The fuck is his problem? Redline is louder than normal. I think that's just how he is. I don't know yet. He continues on, walking us back towards our table. I follow without thinking, though I'd rather be anywhere else. Nah, dude, that's some bullshit! Like, we get little spats here and there all the time, but where does he get off pushing you around like that? I can feel the rest of the cafeteria's eyes laser focused on us. My head is still ringing. I don't think I can afford Redline being any louder than he already is. I need to get out of here. Listen, man, can we go? He looks at me weird. Go? Oh, the room, right. God. Here, let's go, follow me. He grabs my wrist again and walks a lot faster now, aiming for a pair of doors leading out to the hallway. Try to keep my head down as we pass a number of men on our way out. Redline marches straight through the open doors like a man on a mission. It's a bit louder out here than it was before, but not by a whole lot. More people walking around. It seems lunchtime is nearing its end. There are still a few people out and about, though. I think I see a few heads turn as Redline leads us into the main hall. He wastes no time taking a direct path to where we need to go. Down the hall, up a flight of stairs into the second floor hallway. It's just as wide as the first floor, but completely empty. Redline and I power walk down the empty hall. Unlike the main floor, though, the walls are completely covered, with normal wooden doors defending each room. Redline's grip is really strong. I can keep up with him just fine, but he's got a death grip on my wrist. Redline. His ears twitch and he stops almost immediately, turning to face me. What's up? I look at my wrist. You're hurting me. Huh? Oh! Sorry. The hyena immediately pulls his paw away, releasing me. It hesitates over my wrist for a second, like he's unsure if he should rub it or something. I take mine back as well, rubbing my wrist gently. My shoulder still hurts from when he was pulling on it in the cafeteria. Still, the fact that he was holding on so tight was a nice gesture, even if it probably didn't help my shoulder. I feel like I should say something, but I'm kind of enjoying the silence for now. It finally feels like I can finally breathe. We had kept walking once Redline pulled his hand away, but at a bit of a slower pace. Whatever gets us closer to the room and further away from the others, I guess. Here we are! Redline stopped right in front of the door at the end of the hall. Room 202. There's a separate stairwell just to the left of the room, behind a fire door. It actually seemed convenient. I don't have to contend with other people trying to use the hallways or stairwells at the same time. Seems pretty handy. Speaking of handy, Redline jams his thumb against a little notch on the handle to my room. After a short second, a light on the handle flashes green, along with a short beeping sound. The mechanical locks in the door click, and Redline pushes the door to my room open. Here we go, come on in. Oh, that's nice. That is nice. Redline leads the way into the space. It's small. Not terribly small, granted, but still. We stand in a cozy rectangular room. A bed sits along the back wall leading up to what appears to be a window. Seated across from the bed is an empty desk with a chair tucked neatly underneath it. This exact layout is mirrored on the opposite side of the room, with a small nightstand separating the beds and a large dresser separating the desks. But still, though, this is nice. This is a nice room. The other side is clearly well lived in. I can see my phone plugged in and face down on the nightstand. What's with the window? We're underground. Redline lets out a short laugh. Oh yeah, they're like light screens or something. Since we don't see the sun down here, they need something to help keep our circadian rhythm going smoothly. Helps keep our sleep cycles working. There's a bit of an awkward pause as I move further into the room. These rooms were a lot bigger in the advertisements. The hyena laughs nervously. Oh yeah, think they show like tier 3 rooms in the ads. We gotta work our way up if we want rooms like that. I can feel my expression contort slightly. We? Redline gestures around. Yeah, I guess. We're roommates after all. I have to pause to process everything. It makes sense, I suppose, seeing the two beds and seeing how Redline had fingerprint access to what I thought was my room. A sigh escapes my mouth as I drop onto the bed. There's a bit of give to it, though part of that might be the comforter on top of the mattress. My hand clutches the bridge of my muzzle. I can hear Redline step to one side uncomfortably. Sorry. I shake my head. No, Redline, you didn't. It's not you. No, I get it. You weren't expecting to have to share a room with anyone. They didn't really mention that when I registered. A few voices echoed down the hall. They must be loud given how far away they sounded. Redline sticks his head out the door, looking down toward them before coming back inside, shutting the door behind him. The door's lock clicks. It's just... I drop back, landing with a thwump on the comforter. Nothing's really going right. Not like I expected, at least. The two of us were silent for a moment. What did you expect? Money? Solitude? A working shoulder? Less concussions? I don't know. Another awkward silence lingers for a few moments. I can hear Redline pull his chair back and flip open what sounded like a laptop. You might just need to sleep on it. That's what I do whenever I have a lot on my mind. I sit back up. Redline's got his laptop on, typing away at something. I got plenty of rest in the med bay. Redline wheels around to face me. Yeah, and then you got assaulted in the calf, not to mention you found out you're rooming with a yeen. I give him a weird look, but I can't help but feel a smile crack. But Redline sees that smile, I think, as a smile forms on his face. He turns back to his laptop. Trust me, Xander. Take a nap. You'll feel better in the morning. Well, you know what I mean. A nap does sound nice. I felt the adrenaline rush wear off after we got to the second floor, but I didn't start feeling tired until I sat on the mattress. I lie back on top of the comforter, properly laid down in the bed. It's nice, definitely better than the beds in the med bay. Doesn't take long for my eyes to close gently. A few more seconds of silence pass before Redline speaks up again. Mind if I put on some music? Hesitation. That depends. What kind of music? How's this sound? Bro's trying to get romantical with us. A gentle guitar with a sweet saxophone melody flows from his laptop speakers. Redline leans back in his chair and arms folded behind his head. You like jazz? I could listen to this stuff all day. I mean, I could listen to all sorts of music all day, but today just sort of feels like a jazz kind of day, you know? It's nice. Huh. I like it. I was afraid it would be something, I don't know, high energy. Redline lets out a louder than necessary laugh. Maybe feels louder than it is. I don't know. Come on, man, I just ate lunch. You think I want to run around? You like jazz? Oh my god, people at my high school used to say that all the time. They would just walk up to random people and just go, you like jazz? Like, for no reason. They would just walk up to you, do that, and then run off. It's almost always fuckboys. Come on, man, I just ate lunch. You think I want to run around? Actually, wait, I think I could go for a jog. You want to come? I hear they got new stuff in the library we could check out. Oh, man, I haven't even shown you around yet. Redline. Yeah? Wait, right, shit, you're sleeping. Sorry. Thank you. I lay in silence for a short while, laid back on this new bed. A cold breeze brushes past my ears, if only for a second. There's probably a vent somewhere. At least it won't get too stuffy, especially given there's no windows and only one exit in the room. The blankets scrunch up underneath me as I curl up slightly. The jazz is nice. The bed is nice. Redline is quiet. And nice. But quiet's more important right now. Some time passes. My eyes flutter open to see an empty room. A silent room, too. Redline's laptop is still open, but he's not here. Guess he went for that walk after all. I want to get out of here. Out of this room. Out of this facility. Just out. I just need some fresh air. At least Redline's not here to bark some story at me. I don't really know if I can handle a chat right now. It's hot. I throw my covers off and roll out of the bed. The doors open and I step into an empty hallway. Did I sleep until dinner? There's that stairwell to my left. I might as well take that down. I push the door open and step into the elevator. The elevator door closes. There's no buttons, but it starts moving down soon enough. It doesn't move for long, coming to a stop. Doors slide open and reveal the stone area I fought in earlier. Good, if I'm here, maybe I can win and leave. Or maybe someone can kill me. Either way, I won't have to deal with this anymore. This fight, this league, this whole miserable life. Gone in an instant, no more pain, no more fear. It's dark and it's chilly. The padded gloves on my hands make me realize that I'm in my fight gear. Did I sleep in this? The door on the other side of the arena is still closed. I'm standing at my end of the ring, waiting for the elevator door to open. Feels like forever, but it finally does. Oh, hi, Bruce. Bruce is there, stomping straight through the ring toward me. He says some baseless taunt I can't bother to pay attention to. I have to end this. His hand moves before the bell rings, sweeping from the side and clutching my neck. Before he can lift me, I go to send a punch to his jaw. My right arm doesn't respond. It's limp at my side. I can't move it. When did that happen? I'm lifted up. He must not be holding my neck tight because I can breathe just fine. Hang on, let me... My legs kick out, trying to damage his midsection, trying to stop him somehow anyway. Bruce doesn't react. He just grins. See you soon, kid. His forehead moves closer and fast, almost like I blinked and missed it. The blinding white flash in my vision and splitting headache, however, can't be ignored. Try to cry out, but nothing happens. His head rears back again, and then I think I move again. It's hard to tell before the searing pain strikes through my skull. There's a dull buzzing sound ringing through my ears. Bruce pulls his head back. Another flinch, another empty cry, another strike stacked onto my forehead. There's a bit of blood splattered onto Bruce's forehead. Bruce doesn't even blink. Stop. I feel something break. My skin splitting open like a piece of old fabric. The splash of blood on Bruce's forehead has grown. That buzzing is louder now. Let me go! The pain is too hot to register. I can't move. I can hear my skull crack with that last headbutt. There's blood dribbling down my muzzle. Bruce's head looks raw. Please. I close my eyes before Bruce can pull me in again. My body spasms and I sit up. I'm in my bed, in my room. Wait, well, our room. My hand moves to my forehead. There's a soft patch of fur, warm and solid. No blood. Any pain that was there is quickly fading away, dispersing throughout my temple. I'm alive! At a glance, Redline is gone, his laptop closed and his chair left against the end of his bed. My shaking hands come to rest against the bed. My heavy breathing finally starting to slow down. I hear that buzzing sound again. My phone. My body shifts and I reach for the nightstand. I unplug the phone and turn it over to look at the screen. My blood runs cold. Dad. 2 missed calls. The fur on the nape of my neck prickles, trailing a chill down my back. Why is he calling? Why is he calling now of all times? It's usually been just a text here or there, or a stray message on friend book. Now he wants to talk? I've been staring at the screen for so long that it switched back into sleep mode. The glass reflects my own face back into me. My eyes meet my own for a moment. They look so sad. They look so tired. I flop back onto the bed, blowing out a sigh as the phone drops onto the comforter next to me. What the fuck am I going to do? Bruce is a no-go and the commissioner has complete control over the roster. My options are to beat Bruce, speak with the commissioner, or break my contract and spend the next 50 years paying out the ass for voiding the legal document. I'd rather not leave here more poor than I came, and beating Bruce is probably impossible, right? So I'll have to talk with the commissioner. I'm sure he won't want a death on his hands, and I'd really rather not die if I can avoid it. So that's the next plan of attack, then. What else am I supposed to do? The phone next to my head starts buzzing again, and I shoot back up into the sitting position. A mixture of fear and rage well up from the pit of my stomach, reaching the tip of my antlers. I pick up the phone without looking at the screen. What the fuck do you want? There's a brief moment of silence from the other end. Alex? Oh, Drayden! Drayden, my baby boy, my beloved. How are you? Oh my god. I look on my phone screen for the caller ID. I don't recognize the number, but it's not my father. Hey, Doc. Yes, this is Drayden, calling for Alex. That's me. Hey, Alex, are you okay? Another sigh from my mouth. Yeah, no, I'm all good. Just had my mind wanders back to the caller ID. Just a bad dream. Spooked me pretty bad. Ah, I hear you. Stressful situations can mess with your subconscious. I don't really know how to answer that. There's a few seconds of silence that lingers between us. Well, hey, so I've got your physical therapy session scheduled for tomorrow. Can you swing by after breakfast? I don't want you exercising before we make sure it's all healed up, so we'll get it checked out. And if it's looking as good as I'm hoping, we should be able to clear you fully. Sound good? Sounds good. I'll see you after breakfast, probably around 6 or so. The cat lets out a laugh. 6 a.m.? Listen, you exercise types might be good at waking up early, but I'm kind of on a different schedule. How's 9 o'clock sound? I can't help but breathe out a chuckle as well. For some reason, I find myself standing up, slowly pacing down the center of the room. Sounds good. I'll see you then. Drayden agrees and hangs up from his end. I slide my phone back into my pocket. Right? The room is silent yet again. My hands come up to rub my slowly waking face. I cannot fucking believe I answered the phone like that. Drayden probably thinks I'm insane. I literally just told him a few hours ago I was fine. He seems pretty calm about it, though. Maybe I'm overthinking it. You're definitely overthinking it. But holy fuck, dude. That's so embarrassing. Redline lets out another one of his signature high-pitched laughs. Few stray bits of food flying out of his maw and onto the tray. He must have noticed too as he covers his mouth and takes a second to finish swallowing. Thanks. I'm a bit surprised I managed to run into him after my nap. Though granted, I just sort of sat around and played on my phone for a while. I wanted to preserve the solitude for as much as I could, but I couldn't really justify spending more time doing nothing in my room, despite Drayden's orders. It was pretty late in the afternoon, but not really time for dinner, so I wandered back to the mat rooms. There were obviously a lot more people this time around, so I got a chance to observe a good amount of men practicing. Redline actually found me as he was leaving, and invited me to eat with him after. We managed to get to the cafeteria pretty early. Hiya. Thankfully before it got too crowded. The hyena downs a swig from his water bottle, piercing a spear of asparagus and a slice of chicken on the same fork before shoving it into his maw. I'm honestly surprised the cell service even reaches this far down. We're, what, 20 stories underground? Something like that. He covers his mouth again, swallowing quickly before speaking again. I'm not sure if you noticed, but they actually tampered with your phone a bit. I could feel my face contort. What? How? Redline takes another forkful of food before talking. Wonder how long it'll take him to learn to swallow before speaking. It's nothing serious. Another swallow before he continues his response, still twiddling his fork impatiently. Maybe I should just let him eat and get answers later. They got it outfitted with this, like, special internet data thing. Basically, the whole facility has really strong wireless internet. The special bit is that they can, like, monitor everything that goes on in the network. He takes another bite. I should butt him before I get another spray of chicken, so they can see everything we do on our phones. But it's not really a big deal. Like, it's just to make sure you don't do anything illegal to breach your contract or anything, or, talk shit about the league. Another high-pitched giggle. Seems he's not too concerned about the breach of privacy. But if you're concerned about, like, porn and stuff, I wouldn't really worry about it. I'm friends with a bunch of people down here, and they can be pretty open about what they're into. That laugh seemed almost nervous, a little more unhinged than his regular laughs. Some of it's pretty fucked up, dude. Okay, then. He's getting louder now. Even by the cafeteria crowd standards, I lift both my hands slightly and lower them gently, trying to signal that he needs to quiet down. Redline doesn't seem to notice and stuffs his face with a few more chunks of grilled chicken. I can imagine. I know a few guys from my old work tried to get me into some weird stuff. Oh god. Reminded me of one of my old jobs. Story time. One of my old jobs. This was, last year, around, this was 2022, around the start of the monkeypox pandemic. Around the start of it. I was working a morning shift. There was me, my manager, what you call it? What you call? Yeah, it was me, my manager, another store's manager, and one of her workers. So, I'm just sitting around at the register. I'm the only one on a register that day. And the other worker, not one of the managers, the other worker comes over and says, well, and he says something about sex, and I'm just standing there I'm closeted to all these people. They don't know that I'm gay. They still don't. But I don't work there anymore. And I'm just like, yeah. And he goes on this spiel about something, and I don't even know. The same day, earlier in the day, we got a pamphlet in the mail. The store got a pamphlet in the mail about monkeypox. And the other manager, she's so fucking unhinged. She was reading through it, down the list, and came to a part that said something about the ass. It said something about the ass. She proceeded to look me dead in the eyes and just, I think she was, I don't fucking know. She looked somewhere and just said in the most casual voice, this is a direct quote, guess I'm not poking any buttholes anytime soon, end quote. We were we were directly below a camera. So it was caught on the store surveillance, her saying that. Alright, back to the story. I can imagine. I know a few guys from my old work tried to get me into some weird stuff. What? Like snuff? I nearly coughed up the mouthful of water I was holding. Jesus! No! Christ! The hyena just chuckles. I can point out 4 in the calf right now that would be into it. I almost want to turn around and see if I can figure out who he's talking about, but there's a lot of people here. It'd be hard to identify anyone. I go back to picking up my veggie chicken salad. I'm not sure I want to know who those are. That's fair. I'm not one of them if that's what you're worried about. I don't think you could kill someone if you wanted to. The hyena laughs while I take a sip from my water. I would never. Fighting's fun and all, but I'd never be able to forgive myself if I actually damaged someone. He stabs at the last chunk of chicken. I mean, like, permanently. Black eyes are one thing, losing an eye is another. My body shudders at the mention. I haven't mentioned the details of my dream to Redline, and I don't really plan on it. Granted, I didn't lose an eye, but I'm pretty sure I lived through getting my skull smashed in. I'm probably more fucked in the head than I thought if that's the kind of shit I dream about. I can't keep thinking on this right now. I can feel my skin crawling. Redline probably notices my silence. So, got any plans after dinner? No. Great! You can let me show you around the facility then. I force down the last bit of my salad and take a swig of water. It's not like I can do much else here until you do, right? Redline stands up quickly, grabbing his tray. That's the spirit. Come on, little buddy. Little buddy? I wipe the scowl off my face and follow Redline to drop our trays off at the trash table, then out the cafeteria doors. Redline is standing outside the main doors, facing the opposing wall with his hands on his hips. His head is cranked in one direction, looking down the hall. He's got that same goofy smile on his face, almost like he's lost in thought. So, Xander. Yup. Where do you want to see first? I feel like I could answer that better if I knew what was down here. Redline spits out another high-pitched laugh. Good point. You've got a library, a pool, some exercise spaces. Those all sound equally interesting. Where do I want to go first? Okay, where do we want to go first? Someplace cool, the library, or the pool? To the pool. Redline's ears twitch at my answer, but his gaze doesn't change. Sorry, actually. It might be better to go this way. More efficient. Just wherever Drayden is. More efficient. I mean, we can hit all the different stuff on the way there. Come on, dude. He starts moving down the hall away from the cafeteria. Where the hell was the point? What the hell was the point in asking me if we're just going to go down the way he wants? Just another thing I don't have any choice in down here. I follow suit, sticking close beside Redline as he moves past the stairwell across the hall from the cafeteria. The hyena leads us both down the hall a short distance, stopping in front of a room with a bunch of exercise equipment inside. The machines are being used by a different number of men, with a room full of various different species of various sizes. They're clearly working up a sweat. The gyms! Welcome to them! Well, sometimes we call them the weight rooms. I mean, I call them the weight rooms, but only the ones that have weightlifting equipment. And what do you call the ones that don't have weightlifting equipment? Redline rolls his eyes but smiles all the same. I told you, those are the gyms. Come on, Xander, keep up! I can't help but glare at him as we continue down the hall a few steps before Redline stops dead in his tracks. Oh, oi, Bucky! There's a group of older-looking men walking down the hall, while us, chatting amongst themselves. One of the men turned his head towards us. His face breaks into a smile and he departs from the group to meet Redline. Hey, Red, how are you going? He wastes no time to get close, nearly diving forward to wrap his arms around the taller man's waist in a hug. The kangaroo chuckles tenderly, following suit as his arms envelop Redline. He's still smiling. Their hug lasts for a few seconds while I stand there in a semi-uncomfortable silence. No one around seems to notice, so I guess it's not out of the ordinary for them to give hugs. How's the leg treating you, Red? All good? Redline steps back from the hug, his tail providing a nice breeze, wagging rapidly behind him. I actually have to step back to keep out of its way. Yes, sir. Sorry to worry ya. I got some ice on it for a bit, and it's good as new. The kangaroo claps Redline on the shoulder and smiles. Hey, great to hear, man. He turns his head to me. And you, I feel like I've seen you around. New here, are ya? Redline turns, standing between us and looking at me. Oh, right. Xander, this is Buck. Bucky. Coach Bucky. Okay, I cannot keep doing that voice. I'm like, Bucky. Coach Bucky. He's a trainer for a few of us lightweights. Bucky nods and smiles. I work with other weight classes too. I heard we were getting some fresh meat. Didn't know it'd be so soon. We're happy to have you. It's good to meet you, Xander. He extends his paw and I meet it with my own hand. Buck or Bucky? The kangaroo gives a short chuckle. My rule is that it's either Coach, Bucky, or both. Anything else, and it's 100 push-ups. And Redline? Another laugh, this time a little louder. He reaches out and ruffles Redline's hair. This pup's done his fair share of payment and then some. Can't seem to break the habit, so he just ends up doing a little more work in the gym. Redline, whose tail is going nuts at this point, leans into the paw with a goofy smile strewn across his face. Yes, sir. Plus it helps build more muscle, so why wouldn't I take the opportunity? I ought up my rate if that's a rationale, Red. Oh, what? You don't think I can pay up? Bucky smiles. And what if you can't? His eyes have some sinister hue to them. Their shape narrowing down at the hyena. Redline, however, had his eyes wide open. Name your price, Buck! The hyena was standing on his tiptoes to get closer to the kangaroo's face. Bucky simply leered down, still smiling. Next time you fumble the name, 20 minutes on the jump rope. You're on, Buck! The two nearly have their noses pressed against each other. They're still smiling, though it can't be genuine taunting. Still, this is the worst matched face-off I've ever seen, or the closest I've ever been to a really specific porno. I look forward to seeing it tomorrow, Red. I'll be keeping track. Bucky's voice had a bit of a lilt on that last sentence, giving off his teasing intent. The two separated with laughter, with Bucky's hand moving up to ruffle Redline's hair as he turned to me. And you? Oh shit, he's got long hair. Ah shit, I could twin with him. Fuck, I could actually twin with him. I can actually twin with him. Just gotta do a bit of that, and there we go! Yes! I can finally fully twin with the character! I shake myself back into the conversation now that I've been addressed. Oh no, I know I have long hair! Will you be joining us in class tomorrow too? Bucky's voice is cheery, almost hopeful that I'll be present. I give a half-hearted shrug and gesture to my right shoulder. Not sure if you saw my fight the other day, got a dislocated shoulder, so I've got physical therapy in the morning. The kangaroo nods in understanding. A few more men walk down the hall, patting Bucky on the back. He greets them in passing before looking at me again. I'm sorry, as much as we'd love to put you to work, we can't have a fighter with a bruised arm. You rest up until you're cleared, and we'll get you right back up to speed, alright? His paw bumps Redline's backside as he nods to us both. I've got to head out. You two have a good night, yeah? With a short hop that turns into a trot, Bucky jogs down the hall toward his cluster of friends. I'm putting my hair back. I watch him go and turn to Redline. The smell of the weight rooms is still very fresh as people are still trickling out. Probably finishing their routine for the night before heading down to the cafeteria. He starts moving forward and I follow suit subconsciously. What'd you think of Bucky? Bucky was nice. It is pretty nice to meet someone that's not talking down to me. Someone that hasn't really tried to insult me yet. Though I don't think Redline or Drayden intended to come across as offensive, so maybe I shouldn't be so hard on them. Hopefully they can learn to think before they speak. He's alright. Is he hard on you guys? Redline lets out a cheery laugh. Of course! I'm not really adverse to working hard, but the way he confirmed that already has me feeling exhausted. But hey, now I can do 100 push-ups without breaking a sweat, so I'd say it's worth it, right? I can't really argue with that. I haven't seen the results myself, but that sounds like what a good trainer should do. Maybe it's just the thought of working with my damaged arm, but I'm not sure I'm looking forward to the next class. Now I'll have to make sure I don't mix up his name. Shouldn't be an issue, but with how casually Redline throws it out, it's almost like he does it on purpose.
It's time to drink water.
Some sort of masochistic exercise routine.
It's time to drink water. It's time to drink water.
Oh my god, I binged
It's
We
time
Bare
to
Bears
drink
years
water.
ago. Years ago, I binged that show. He chats at me for a bit as we walk through the growing sea of sweaty men before reaching the end of the hall. There's a number of closed wooden doors lined across the wall. To our right, a staircase, and to our left, a short hallway. A heavy chlorine scent wafted from that direction, so I'm guessing that... The pool! He points down the hall. Is that way. I'm not sure how much of a swimmer you are. Not too often. He cocks his head. Aw, really? Any reason why? I shrug. Just never been a big fan. Deer aren't bad swimmers by any stretch, but it's never really been something I've taken to. It's like running, but with heavy equipment on. And I could just be doing that instead of having to keep my head above water. You're missing out. I love a good swim after a heavy day in the gym. Water rinses all the sweat out and clears my mind. And they have a hoop and beach ball in there, so it's nice to dunk on some of the other guys in water basketball. Can you actually do a slam dunk? He fidgets for a second before a nervous giggle is forced out. I mean, I don't actually dunk the ball, I'm not tall enough, but I like to think I'll get there someday. Someday, Redline. I gesture to the series of doors. There's a weird kind of lighting focused against the wall, almost like it's trying to draw attention to itself. And this, more gyms? Nope, this is the entertainment wing. Well, they call it the enrichment center, but that makes it sound like we're lab rats. He gives a bit of a non-committal hand wave, accompanied by a high-pitched sound of confusion. I was gonna say animals, but yeah, basically. So you watch SpongeBob? Yeah, basically. A weird sterile name for a place like this, but maybe it's just to sound impressive. Redline's already gone ahead to the entrance of the wing, so I follow suit. It's a library. Enrichment Center is a pretty pretentious name for a normal-looking library. Redline's standing with his hands on his hips, smiling wide as ever. What do you think? I feel so... enriched. His laugh jumps out at me. I should be used to how sudden it can be, but it must be more surprising in the silence of the library. The rest of the people sitting around reading must also not expect the sudden laughter, judging by the generally angry looks on their faces. It's definitely not as stocked as your standard library. Got a lot of non-fiction stuff. Like history books? He tilts his head. No, more like self-help. You know, learning books, books that you learn from, textbooks and stuff. Looking around, there are a lot of people reading at tables. A few of them have some notebooks out, scribbling down notes, having some quiet discussions amongst themselves. I follow Redline as he moves out of the library, passing by the raccoon fellow I saw earlier. He's got some sort of art tutorial book open next to a notebook, scribbles strewn across one page. You go through a door opposite from the pool that leads down a unique-looking hallway. Modern architecture, pretty impressive lighting. It stands out from the rest of the facility so far. At the end of the hall is a grand-looking steel door that looks like it was designed to blend into the wall. There's a black panel on the wall to the right side. Redline steps up to it, tapping the LED screen to life. Okay, cool. Looks like it's free for a few hours. Another few taps and the door slides open. Ah, shit! The bright light burns my eyes before I have a chance to turn away. Once I manage to adjust, Redline leads me through an open door onto a giant deck hanging over a beach. Behind us, a sun shines down, filling the space with glorious light. I barely notice the change in temperature, but I can tell it's a bit warmer in here the way my shirt gently sticks to my body. This is the immersion chamber. My hands grip the railing, tracing along it as I move along the length of the deck. My eyes close and I take a moment to breathe in the salty air. A cool breeze flitters past, my ears twitching from its influence. The sound of the waves crashing against the shore, the warmth of the sun on my fur. Try to soak it in for as long as I can. Pretty cool, right? It's beautiful. It's alright. I don't remember seeing anything like this on the promo material or contract or anything really. Redline's already moved up next to me, hands on the railing as he looks out over the sea. Yeah, well, so this area is kind of reserved for higher tier fighters. We're not really supposed to be here. I frown. It's okay as long as no one's booked it. People don't really mind if I'm here. But yeah, people host parties or post-fight celebrations or whatever really in here. Sometimes they'll invite me. It's pretty cool. They even decorated for the holidays and stuff too. How does this work? We're underground. He moves backwards towards the door. There's a black panel along the wall on the inside of the room too. That's right. So this screen controls basically the whole room. Time of day, temperature, wind, tide, you name it. But when the simulation is off, a few taps, the sunlight fades away. What? Actually, the whole skyline disappears, replaced with a dull white light. The waves turn still, resting calmly against the sand. There's no more wind, and the heat has started to turn into the facility familiar temperature that's shared with the rest of the facility. I can feel my heart sink a little as everything turns sterile. Quiet is nice, but for a few seconds it's deafening silence. Thank you, Redline. As quickly as the scenery had vanished, it returns. The sound of the waves splashing once more flowing through the air. And like I said, time of day. A few seconds pass and the sun dips down below the horizon. With it, a fake moon rises to the opposite side of the room. So it's not real. Redline moves back to where he was before, standing next to me along the railing.
Body has been discovered!
Well, no, like I said, we're really far underground. Kind of hard to get any real sunlight down here, but it does a good job of imitating it. You could probably get a tan if you stayed out long enough. I've been trying to block Redline out as he spoke. My eyes close and I take in the ocean air again. The cool breeze, the salty scent, the sound of the waves. None of this is real. I will say, it's missing something. He has a really good habit of breaking my concentration. Let me put my finger on it, but it's just uncanny enough to bother me. I miss the real thing, too. But hey, the view is nice, right? I look out to the fabricated sea. Yeah. But that's depressing. We stay there for a while. That night, I dream of the ocean. Alright, go ahead and pull. My hand wraps around an elastic band, pulling it gently across my chest, and then returning it back to the side. I repeat this motion a few times, with Drayden holding the other end of the band. How's your shoulder feel? Fine, actually. Takes a sip of his coffee and winces. Smells really sweet. Ow, what? That's good. You said it was giving you some trouble yesterday. Yeah, it was aching a bit, but I think that was caused by other stuff. What happened? Nothing, just... Bruce did assault me, but I'd rather not bring that up. It's hard to think of an excuse when I'm put on the spot. I can just use Redline as a scapegoat, right? Redline got excited and yanked me around all over the place. I know! Ah! Drayden, my love, my beloved. He chokes up a laugh into his coffee. That'll do it. I'd have hoped you'd be a little more careful, knowing your situation, but you can't really do much about him once he gets excited. I know how that goes. Try to talk my ear off the one time we met. But, yeah, be careful with that one. You don't need to tell me. Another small laugh came from the feline as he takes another sip before setting the cup to the side. He moves behind me, holding my shoulder gently. It's like he's handling some fragile artifact. I know! Yes, I'm aware. Can you squeeze your shoulder blades together for me? I follow suit. It's actually a nice stretch back there. I should do this more often. Drayden tilts my head to the left, getting a better stretch along the right side of my neck. Very good. Any pain at all? Nope. Good. He comes back around to my front, scribbling something down on his clipboard. So, how was your first day? Aside from Red nearly breaking your arm, I mean. Try not to think about a lot of what happened yesterday. Fine. It's all I really want to say. Bit of silence where Drayden just sort of smiles at me. He takes a drink from his cup of coffee. I guess he's expecting more. Redline showed me around a bit, and I met a coach. He was halfway through his drink, but he stopped when I mentioned the coach. Thank you for reminding me. Since I'm discharging you fully today, I've got your coach assignment. Assignment? Drayden nods, flipping a bit through his clipboard. Yeah, it's just to get you acquainted with how we work down here. You're free to choose different coaches once you make some progress, but it's a good idea to stick with the same one for a bit. Can't really contest that. Coaches work best when they know how their fighters work. The more a fighter changes coaches, the more time the coach has to spend finding the fighter's limits and capabilities. Kind of a waste of time that you could use to get training to get stronger. Looks like you've got Coach Bucky. Bucky? Yup, he's a big kangaroo fella. Well, that's a nice coincidence. No, I know, Redline actually introduced us last night. Oh, great. I get more of his students sent my way than from other coaches, so he must be working them hard. Either that, or they aren't learning to dodge too well. Drayden laughs a bit. There's a beat of silence. Don't tell him I said that. Which one? Are we going to agree with him or be a little shit? God damn! We should probably save. We should probably save first. Yeah, we should probably save first. Give us those stacks. Damn it. God damn it. You know what? We are going to go back immediately after, but I am but I'm curious what happens. Drayden lets out a nervous chuckle but goes quiet. Are you how much? No. Let's actually be serious. He laughs gently and taps his pen on his clipboard. I appreciate it. I don't think he'd really do anything about it, but I'd rather not get on his bad side. Things are a lot easier when people get along. Especially down here, cooped up in this facility. It can really drive men to do some weird stuff, you know. Cabin fever and all that. Can't help but glare at him. Cabin fever is usually pretty intense, right? I think I saw a movie about it once. Isn't that dangerous? He tilts his head thinking for a moment. I might have been exaggerating a bit when I said that. I mean, yes, it can be dangerous, but I don't think anyone down here is capable of going insane. Maybe just a bit stir-crazy, that's all. I suppose that's why they give you vacation time. Vacation time? They give us vacation time? Yup, didn't anyone tell you? I suppose you were in medbay for a lot longer than most would have been. Must have slipped through the cracks, sorry about that. But yes, you are allotted a total of 2 vacation days for every win you get. You can rack them up for enough time for a nice long trip. Feel my ears fold down. I don't know why I would even want to leave, though. Not like there's anything waiting for me above ground. Drayden sort of pauses uncomfortably. Sorry, knowing your situation makes this all probably pretty depressing. I dart my eyes away. How are you feeling about that, by the way? My eyes narrow and my head drops slightly. I don't answer. I don't know how to answer. I know it seems impossible, but I know you can overcome this. Thanks. There's another moment of silence. He's probably trying to find a way to spin this into something positive. Can I talk to the commissioner? Drayden's face freezes up, with his eyes darting down to his clipboard. Starts to shimmy the pen from side to side in his fingers, almost like a nervous tick. That's, I'll see what I can do. Wish you'd at least look me in the eyes. I don't say this to discourage you or anything, but it's really hard to get a hold of the commissioner. It would be a good idea to focus on your training right now. He sighs, waiting a second before scribbling something down on another sheet on his clipboard. But I'll do what I can. Thanks. There's a bit more awkward silence between us. Probably feels bad, but I don't really know what I was expecting. Knew this before coming into this place. I am the only one that controls what happens to me. Even with this unfortunate circumstance, I have to persevere. There's no point in hoping other people can save me now. So, I look back up at Drayden. Sorry, he clears his throat. This will get figured out. We'll get this figured out. It has to get figured out one way or the other. Thanks. Drayden gives a pleasant smile, scribbling something down in his notebook. Well, if there's nothing else I can help with, I'd say you're free to go. You can start training too, just be careful, you know? Your ligaments are still newly recovered, no point in breaking them again so soon. I make my way to the door. Right, I'll do my best! That's all we can do, Alex. I twitch slightly at hearing that name. Slow breathe in, slow breath out. Thanks. I don't really feel bad that I had left the medbay in a bit of a huff. Not just the name thing. I could tell him to call me Xander, but he probably wouldn't bother. I'll still just be Alex to him. Drayden doesn't need to hear about everything that goes on outside of my medical emergencies. Complaining never got anyone anywhere. The only shit that gets done is action. Granted, my actions are limited at the moment, but running to Drayden when I get pushed around won't fix this. I'll just look like a little kid running to their mommy on the playground. We're adults, even if Bruce acts like a brat, and even if Redline can be childish. Whatever. This will get solved eventually. I can either win or lose until I die. Drayden was right about one thing. I need to focus on my training. After I left his office, I went straight back to my room, changed some gym clothes, and made my way down to the gym. Redline was gone, off having breakfast probably. I already had mine before physio. I will say, walking around without an escort is still a little bit strange. Not that I miss Redline or anything like that. I enjoy being alone. I can't shake the feeling that someone is watching me, like I have to watch my step or I'll do something I'm not supposed to. Can't really pinpoint why that is. Maybe I'm just anxious, or maybe I'm traumatized. Probably. Hey, Xander! So much for the silence. Redline pulls up next to me, clapping his hand against my back. It kind of stings. Good morning, man! Morning. He's walking backwards now, facing me as we talk. You were really quiet this morning. I'm usually a light sleeper, but I didn't even notice you were gone! Thanks. I've had a lot of practice sneaking around. How'd your thing with Drayden go? Are you clear to fight? Redline narrowly avoids bumping into a rhino who is intensely focused on his phone. Yup, and you should probably take care of where you're going. The hyena laughs. I've got eyes in the back of my head, Xander. I'm fine. See? Watch this. Wow! Redline moves directly into the rather burly kangaroo man, who stands unmoved while Redline stumbles forward. I didn't bother telling him Bucky had been standing in our path for the last 20 seconds or so, next to the open door of a gym room. Bucky smiles. Alright there, Ed. Need to watch your go, little man. Somebody's watching me. Redline hammers a fist playfully on Bucky's chest. Sorry, Book. There you go. The kangaroo's paw moved to ruffle Redline's hair, gently shoving him towards the open door to his left. Go get started on the jump ropes then, Red. They both laugh, and Redline follows the momentum into the gym. Bucky turns back to me. And Xander, good to see you this morning. I nod. I take it you got the go-ahead from Drayden? Yep, he told me to be careful, though. Makes sense, don't want to go breaking anything else. We'll take it easy today. Get in here and start warming up. I follow suit, moving through the door into the space. One half of the room is wide open, an empty space where people are standing around, stretching or talking. There's only a few people in here. That makes sense, considering a lot of folks are probably off having breakfast. Along the back padded wall are a few bags of various shapes and sizes. Heavy bags, speed bags, all suspended off the ground by chains. At the end of the room is a large mat with a circle on it, clean and empty, waiting for fighters to use it. Seems smaller than the one used in official fights, but big enough to spar in. Of course, Redline is here too, twirling the jump rope up and down around his body like he promised Bucky. A few people had gathered around him, chatting while they stretched. It seems so easy for people like him to just talk with others. I don't understand how he's so quick to make friends. Especially with the speed he's jumping rope. Most people would be too focused on their breathing, but he's pacing himself well from what it looks like. Started my stretching as well, keeping to the corner to focus on myself. Red X floor. Oh no. That right shoulder really needs this. I can feel my muscles releasing the tension it had been building up since the incident. Alright, boys, let's get it going. Bucky claps his hands a few times and jogs into the space. Everyone stops talking and turns their attention to him. Redline is still jumping rope in place. Bucky slides up next to me, actually, patting me semi-aggressively on the back. You'll see we got a new guy joining us. This is Xander, everyone. You wanna introduce yourself? The guys turn to me now. They're all staring. Hopeful, excited. If not excited, they're at least expecting something. Redline looks excited, but that seems to be his default state. He's really whipping that rope round fast. Right, the introductions. Hi! I'm Xander. I've been fighting for a while now. What more am I supposed to say? That I got my arm broken by the biggest guy in the league? I'd rather not that be what I'm known as here. They probably already know all about that, so I can't really give them any new information. I guess Bucky can tell I'm floundering as he slaps my back once again with an awkward chuckle. Let's give Xander a warm welcome today, alright? He's gonna be training with us from now on. I expect everyone to give him the same amount of respect to give you guys, alright? A number of guys nodded at me, saying a few welcoming words. I see a few in the back whisper to each other, but I can't tell what they're saying. Bucky's hand sets on my shoulder, patting it gently. You'll be working with me today. The rest of you, start getting warmed up for light sparring. Redline starts to open his mouth. Reg, keep on that jump rope. Xander, come this way. Bucky moves towards the heavy bags lined against the wall. Carrying a pair of training gloves in one hand, I follow suit. Most of the guys have already got their hands wrapped on, spreading out across the gym to warm up as they chat amongst themselves. They're mostly around my size, but a few of them are a little bit bigger. I guess Bucky doesn't mind having some different weight classes here. Sharp whistle pierces my ears, calling my attention back to Bucky and the heavy bag he was stationed next to. He pats the bag and tosses me the gloves. You doing alright? You've had group classes, I'm sure. I nod, undoing the Velcro on the gloves. Yeah, for a while. They're cheap. Bucky chuckles at that. Smart. Coaches can be hit or miss, but sure, so I assume they did you well. Doesn't look like you brought hand wraps, but that's fine. I don't want you sparring just yet. I didn't think to bring my hand wraps or gloves down to the gym with me. It makes sense to bring them, I just forgot. Hand wraps are used to protect my knuckles, but I normally don't need that kind of protection when I'm training. I don't know what to expect down here just yet, though, so maybe I should be bringing them just in case. Are we going to stop for the ad? Want to break from the ads? Fucking back. If you didn't bring any to bang, that's fine. I'm sure Red or someone has something they could spare. Redline calls out from somewhere behind me now, still jumping rope. I got a bunch you can borrow! Focus on your breathing, Red! Double time! The whipping of the rope against the floor speeds up. Bucky looks back down at me. But like I said, those gloves will do you just fine. Bag gloves, thinner and lighter than normal sparring gloves, so I can practice striking faster. We're still getting your arm back up to speed, so I'll hold the bag for you. I just want a few 1-2 combos, alright? Take it slow. I nod and close my eyes. Slow breathe in, slow breath out. My feet shift out, my left sliding forward with the step with the heel angled out. My right slides back a bit, angling its toes out. I bend my knees ever so slightly, coming down as my weight presses down onto my back foot. My hips twist to the right and my shoulders follow through, firing my left arm out into the bag. It connects with a hiss spraying through my gritted teeth. I force my hips back to the left as my right arm pistons forward. Another hiss forces its way out of as the punch lands, and I've noticed my expression has changed, scrunching up my face as I force my aggression onto the bag. Bucky's been bracing himself against the bag, clutching it tight, but even he takes a step back as my punch lands. Oh, now, easy, Xander. I said take it slow. I snap my glare into his eyes. I'm not sure why. I don't want to intimidate him. He doesn't flinch, though, just stares down with that same lax demeanor he's been carrying this whole time. Sorry. That was good, though. You caught me off guard. But remember, we're warming you up. I know you want to fight, but you can't go messing up your arm again. Alright? Take it easy this time. I nod and focus back on the bag. It's clearly weathered after taking so many punches over the years. Even then, it'll probably last longer down here than I will. That's a depressing thought, but it kind of pisses me off. So fucking frustrated. I need to take it out on this. On something! Bucky's hand twitches and I see him still watching me patiently. Deep breath, Xander. Take it easy. Force all that anger down for now. My hips turn slow and my punch reaches out onto the bag. The leathers collide and part gently. Good! I twist the opposite direction, my right reaching out in a similar fashion. There you go. I want you to just focus on your forefoot right now. Nice and slow. My punches, if I can call them that, continue in a similar fashion. Slow, gentle taps against the bag as my feet stay planted. This goes on for a while. The rest of the class continues their sparring. The temperature in the room seems to rise. I almost ask if they can crack a window, but that's not exactly an option down here. We continue for a while, and after Redline finishes his jump roping, he joins us on the next bag over. Bucky moves away from me to inspect the other students, correcting their forms and physique as they train. They're all moving so fast, swapping partners every so often, laughing as they test each other's techniques. We're going to leave off here tonight. Doing a little dance. That music was so groovy. It was so groovy. Anyways, we got No More Future as an update tomorrow because it updated today. And I didn't know it updated. So anyways, stay safe, have a good night. I should probably set it up on Steam. And I will see you all tomorrow.